Donald Trump woke up this morning and it was a whiny morning for him, with him tweeting, "One of the worst polls in 2016 was the Fox News poll. They were so ridiculously wrong. Fox said they were going to change pollsters, but they didn't. They totally oversampled Democrats to a point that a child could see what is going on." And he sees it, so, proof positive. Rasmussen, which was accurate at 52%. Now, really fast, Rasmussen in the immediate lead up to the general election was pretty accurate on the overall nationwide vote. That's true. They had Clinton winning it by a point or two, and she indeed won it by a point or two. So they were right. That doesn't mean their evaluation of his favorability number, which is the number he's citing there, is accurate. So little tricky bazzicky thing there. But what is he whining about? What is going on with the Fox polls? Well, it turns out he was starting his morning the way he always does, literally watching Fox and tweeting about what they said. And he happened across these images. For instance, this poll, Fox News for Pennsylvania, with the Biden-Clinton preference. So you see, for Biden, he's currently up by 7 points. And that was the vote Clinton-Trump back in 2016, with Trump winning very narrowly there. Now there's this big gap, at least according to them. And not just Pennsylvania, but you have Ohio, where they have Biden up by 5 when Trump won by, looks like 7.5 points or so. And so they show some images, and the most powerful person in the world begins whining on social media about it. Brett, what do you think?
He's such a little baby boy. He needs a banky, he needs a sucker. And if he's looking for a suckers, by his own definition, he should find veterans, because he called them losers and suckers, and we've already forgotten that. Yeah, this is good. So it is also just me vacillating between sheer panic and this aspiration that eventually I'll have some kind of relief in my life where I can go back to like the fight I'm willing to have, which is like the fight that's become a luxury at this point, which is like changing a system that I'm familiar with into a system that I want to be better, as opposed to this nutty free for all that's happened now. But I think that Biden should be up way more in his home state of Pennsylvania. I think that this is in Ohio. I want Biden to be up way more. Yes. I wonder what they're doing. I need them to be up by
campaign-wise.
Yeah, campaign-wise.
Apparently not much. I mean, there was a big expose a couple of weeks ago about the lack of campaign offices and battleground states. Just a couple of days ago, there was a big one in Florida. The the Democratic advantage over Republicans in new voter registration is still there, but it's significantly less than it's been in past elections because they're really not going door to door, and that's hugely frustrating. Now, if this Ohio number is accurate and it's one poll, maybe it's not, that is a massive swing. Probably not as much as it should be, considering all that Donald Trump is and has been, let alone the pandemic. But it is a swing, and these are just individual polls, and we don't cover them constantly. But you know what? It's Friday, and this is good news. So let's just let it soak in. And in particular, why might Ohio have swung so much? So let's take a look at individual issue areas. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Who do Ohioans trust to do a better job? Coronavirus, there's a 14-point gap. I cannot believe there's 38% of people in Ohio are like, more of Trump's coronavirus strategy, please, sign me up for that. But SCOTUS nominations, Joe Biden has a nice little lead there. Policing and criminal justice, Biden's up by 2, despite the fact that is like 60% of Trump's campaign strategy is attacking Biden on that particular area. And the economy is the thing that still goes towards Donald Trump.
Yeah, but and you pointed out in the previous thing, the policing, the SCOTUS nominations, basically what folks expect the Republican to be good at and what they expect the Democrat to be good at. The coronavirus response is provably better because Trump, we just suck so bad at it. And I think that Biden needs to run with that. I know that Trump is going to say, well, I mean, he has kind of said things like this, saying things basically like, Biden wants to fix coronavirus by shutting down the economy. What are you gonna do for work in that situation? But in the meantime, the Democrats are trying to shore up that argument by going to kind of revitalize talks with the Republicans with a 2-point-something trillion relief bill that we'll hear about in the coming weeks. I do want to point out Donald Trump. The one thing that Donald Trump is hilarious in here, he wants Fox to change its pollster. A Fox pollster is responsible for pretty much every rhetorical win that Trump is taking advantage of right now, laying the groundwork by doing essentially, like Frank Luntz is the Fox pollster that I know when I think about pollsters. And Frank Luntz is the guy that doesn't just poll like, who do you want to vote for? But he does the work that Democrats never do, which is go try to find terms that you can repeat ad nauseum until people are like, oh, I've just accepted your framing linguistically, which sets like death tax, all those different terms that the Republicans are so good at, that the Democrats are so god awful at. And I think defunding the police is one of those terms that just tees it up for Trump to do something terrible with. Now, do I agree with basically rebuilding policing around good police? Yes. And do I think police are overburdened? Yes. Do I think we need systemic change? Yes. But saying defund the police just kind of sets it up for that. But Trump has relied nonstop on the work of the Fox pollster to 100%. Pick up the shambles of American democracy and run with them.
Yeah, or at the very least, those little like voter panels that they do, where you don't have the breadth necessarily, but you can really dig in, ask follow-up questions and things like that. 100%. There's other polling I could show you of battleground states. I'm not gonna, because it just gets into the weeds. But one of the takeaways is that he still maintains his lead, especially in certain states among men. Like in Texas, he's up by like 16 points among men, which is just maddening. But among women in a lot of these states, he's down fairly significantly too. And in defense of Trump, he has worked very hard to turn the women of America against him. So he's getting what he paid for there. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.